Good evening. Our national anthem will be sung by Urbana High School graduate and choir member Reagan Hepp.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hail at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
Good evening. I am Kristen Mays, principal of Urbana High School, and I would like to welcome you to the 150th Urbana High School commencement ceremony. On behalf of the graduates, they would like to thank all of the teachers and school staff, parents, guardians, family members, and friends who have contributed to the lives and accomplishments of the class of 2020. Your love and support has helped them reach this moment and will continue to help them reach their goals and dreams in the future. At this time, please welcome Superintendent of Urbana City Schools, Charles Thiel.
Good evening. As Superintendent and on behalf of the Board of Education of the Urbana City School District, I would also like to welcome you to the graduation ceremony for the class of 2020. And even though this year it must be virtual, it is still the most beautiful graduation ceremony in Ohio. At this time, it is my honor to present the Distinguished Alumni Award for 2020. Started as a joint venture between the Board of Education and the Alumni Association, this award was first presented in 2011. It recognizes an Urbana High School graduate who is noted in his or her field of endeavor or recognized for his or her expertise and accomplishments, and has demonstrated positive leadership and service or contributions to the community or society. The 2020 recipient of the Distinguished Alumni Award is Dr. Robert Neer, class of 1953. Neer was active in high school, playing football and singing in the choir. He was also president of the Student Council and class president his senior year. In addition, he was a member of the National Honor Society and the Math Club. After high school, he went on to Harvard and graduated cum laude with a BA in biochemistry in 1957. He earned a medical degree from Columbia College of Physicians and Surgeons in 1961. During his years in medicine, he worked as a physician, consultant, and researcher at both Massachusetts General Hospital and Harvard University. That research looked into bone density and osteoporosis, studying the effect of diet on bone strength. In addition, he published several articles and peer-reviewed articles written by other researchers and colleagues. Dr. Neer retired in 2013 and lives in Cambridge, Massachusetts. Thank you to the Urbana High School Alumni Association and the Selection Committee, and congratulations once again to Dr. Neer. Nomination information for this award can be found on the website for the Urbana City School District. Thank you.
I close my eyes and I can see a world that's waiting up for me, that I call my own. Through the dark like hope. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say I've lost my mind. I don't care, so call me crazy. We can live in a world that we design. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me awake. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. There's a house we can build. Every room inside is filled with things from far away. Ooh. Special things I compile, each one there to make you smile on a rainy day. They can say it all sounds crazy. They can say we've lost our minds. I don't care if they call us crazy. Run away to a world that we design. Every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me away. Think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. Oh, a million dreams for the world we're gonna make. However big, however small, let me be a part of it all. Share your dreams with me. You may be right, you may be wrong, but say that you'll bring me along to the world you see, to the world I close my eyes to see, I close my eyes to see. 'Cause every night I lie in bed, the brightest colors fill my head. A million dreams are keeping me away. A million dreams. I think of what the world could be, a vision of the one I see. A million dreams is all it's gonna take. A million dreams for the world we're gonna make. For the world we're gonna make.
Graduates, as I was preparing my comments for tonight, I reviewed the text of my presentation to last year's graduates. I found it interesting that I had shared that although, like you, they have basically grown up in a digital world, they should not forget about the need to make real face-to-face social connections with others, as those relationships make people happier and healthier. Who knew that exactly 1 year later, we would pretty much be doing the exact opposite? Originally, my thought about speaking this evening was to focus on the year 2020 and how 2020 is the term used for what is known as perfect vision. The ability to see clearly and set a course for your future were some of the ideas I had considered. But obviously, the 2020 that we now face is not all about seeing the future clearly, but about being flexible and having the ability to adapt and overcome. Graduates, just as you have successfully passed all of the tests to complete your course requirements, I am confident that you will be successful in facing the many tests before you as we move into a new normal. Congratulations and good luck. Thank you.
It is now my honor to recognize 3 students who have earned the highest academic honors. Through hard work and dedication to their studies, these 3 students have distinguished themselves as the top scholars. First, we have a young lady who began high school in 2017-18. She has met all graduation requirements as well as the maximum number of College Credit Plus courses permitted in high school within just 3 years. With one of the highest GPAs for both the class of 2020 and 2021. Please welcome Reagan Renee Hepp. Reagan is the daughter of Jeffrey and Wendy Hepp. She plans to attend the University of Navarra and study Spanish and biology.
High school is hard. There are a lot of deadlines, a lot of tests, and a lot of life-changing decisions that are expected to be made. It is especially difficult when everything is online, we have little to no contact with teachers and friends, and it seems like all of our plans have fallen apart. It would be selfish to think the pandemic is only affecting high school seniors. However, this is a scary time for seniors under completely normal circumstances. During a pandemic, it is so much more difficult to figure out our next steps in life. I will say that I am not 18. I am 16 and I'm graduating after what should be the end of my junior year. I didn't go through this year knowing it would be my last, but when I was told I would only be able to take 3 classes next year, I decided to graduate early. As a result, I had to squeeze an entire year of college preparation into 3 very short weeks. I understand disappointment and stress and uncertainty. For much of the year, I was unsure of what the future held. Once I figured some of it out, the pandemic started. The school musical was canceled, the university I was attending shut down, and all school went online. I was disappointed again when I realized I would never have the opportunity to go to prom, hold any band or choir offices, plan a senior marching show, or spend one more year with teachers and friends because I was graduating early. To the other seniors, please be thankful you had even part of a senior year. I didn't get one at all. Even now, I face uncertainty as I plan to study in Spain in the fall. However, I understand that my plan may not even happen because of the current situation. This past year has taught me many things that I had to learn through difficult experiences. I had a terrible few months because of how often I was disappointed, but that made me realize that I can't just sit around waiting for something to make me happy. I also learned that I can't spend my time doing something I don't like in order to appease others. We live in a society that focuses on our time, how busy our schedule is, how productive we are, our accomplishments. However, I think we should learn to appreciate the little moments and start teaching ourselves to simply slow down, to take a breath, to cherish who and what we love, to be ourselves, and to be kind. Darkness does not drive out darkness. There should be no competition between who has it worse. Instead, be loving, kind, and supportive to one another as we all go through this together. Then, finally, we can all start making the future rather than waiting for it. Thank you.
The salutatorian for the class of 2020 is Logan Isaac Pence. Logan is the son of Neil and Rachel Pence. He plans to attend Wright State University to major in computer engineering.
Well, I am sure this year did not turn out like anyone expected. I mean, who would have thought we would have been stuck at home for our last 2 months of high school? Our class has been through so much, but nevertheless, we made it. And I'm honored to be able to give this speech right now. Unfortunately, we missed out on a lot of experiences our senior year. I know I missed out on things like going to my senior prom, performing in this year's musical, and giving this speech to you in person. But I've already created so many memories that I will never forget, so I know it's okay. I remember cheering on our marching band during a Friday night football game, and the feeling of doing cheers with the entire student section. I remember going to homecoming and participating in the pep rallies, and I remember being on the golf course with my teammates. All of these events helped to make my high school experience something I would never want to change. Over the years, we have all grown so much. I started off high school being terrified of even going to a football game. But by my senior year, I was one of the first people in the student section to cheer on my team. This growth of confidence is the reason I am able to give this speech while only being slightly nervous. And that is something I'm so excited about. I have seen people learn to jump into a new extracurricular without a problem. I have seen people go from worrying about a 2-page paper to writing one like it was nothing. And one of my personal favorites, I have seen people go from stressing about a 5-minute presentation to hoping we at least have 10 minutes to talk. Each one of us has grown in so many different ways, but this did not happen overnight. So I would like to give a special thanks to all of the teachers and staff in the Urbana City Schools District and to all of our families who helped get us to where we are today. Fellow classmates, I know this has been a long and difficult process, but I promise you that this progress has not gone unnoticed. All of this hard work will help you in life, so no matter what, I hope you never stop growing and learning. It does not matter if you are going to college, entering the military, or joining the workforce. Continuing to learn and being curious is something that will always be beneficial. In the words of Albert Einstein, the important thing is to not stop questioning. Curiosity has its own reason for existing. When I hear this quote, I think about how constantly questioning the world around me should always be important, because the power of this curiosity can easily change the world. To help prove this point, I would like to quickly tell you about an invention by a man named Percy Spencer. One day, Spencer was developing new radar technology when he noticed a melted chocolate bar in his pocket. Now, some people would not think twice about it, but thankfully, Spencer did. He was curious about what had to happen to make this chocolate bar melt, so to satisfy his curiosity, he started to focus the beams from the radar on different items. After more experimentation, his work led to the invention of the microwave, a device that can now commonly be found in homes across the world. Spencer's curiosity turned something as simple as a melted chocolate bar into a device that would revolutionize the way we cook things and lead to other amazing inventions like microwavable pizza rolls. Now, some people might think that academic curiosity like Spencer's is the only form of curiosity. However, there are so many other ways to be curious. You can always learn more about your work, your community, or your world. Just find something that makes you curious and let it motivate you. That brings me to my main motivation during high school, and my favorite thing about our class, our competitiveness. For those of you who do not know, my class has always been competitive in everything from academics to sports to just staying involved. Everything we did was a competition, and it pushed all of us to be the best we could be. This is how I got to where I am today. And it is because of this, I cannot use words to explain how thankful I am to have all of you as my friends. So, I will just have to settle with saying thank you for everything you have done. Whether it was getting a higher score on a math test, showing me your extensive history knowledge, encouraging me to go to a sporting event, or even just sassing me over a small mistake. It helped push me to do better, and I will forever be grateful for every second of it. As we all go our separate ways, I hope you all keep this competitive drive and find something to motivate you in whatever it is you decide to do. We are the class of 2020, and we can do whatever we put our minds to. Thank you.
The valedictorian for the class of 2020 is Talani Isabella Brown. Talani is the daughter of Holly Brown and Troy Brown. She plans to attend The Ohio State University and major in biology.
On average, we've spent 2,160 days enclosed between the walls of a school building before walking in for our final first day, which marked the beginning of our senior year. This roughly translates to 11,770 hours of sitting inside classrooms where we've learned anything and everything from writing our ABCs to describing the basic components of a cell. For many, senior year was expected to be the most exciting and eventful of them all. It was meant to be filled with many memorable moments that would lead us into the next phase of our lives. Then, when the unforeseen pandemic swept across the world, it took away much of these exciting events and moments along with it. Though it's apparent that much has been ripped away from us these past few months,
we shouldn't let that overshadow everything we've now gained and accomplished. Each of us possesses our own unique story of how we got here, but the only thing we all have in common is that we each embody the characteristics of a strong, determined, and victorious class. It's undeniably evident that none of us would have made it this far alone. I personally have numerous people to thank for getting me to this point, and very fortunate to have had such an amazing support system with me throughout the years. I would first like to thank the staff and teachers of Urbana, as so many have supported me during these scary and unimaginable times. It's teachers like Ms. Westerman, whose passion inspires you to dream as big as you want, and people like Mr. Sapp, whose laugh simply forces you to smile from ear to ear. My family is another large factor responsible for my success. I know putting up with my sarcasm and argumentative demeanor hasn't always been easy, but I want you all to know how much I still appreciate your love and encouragement. I would like to thank my dad for always believing in me, no matter how insane my ideas might be. Whether I were to say I wanted to become a doctor or a Disney princess, he would support me every step of the way. And then I must thank the person I view as my role model, my coach, my best friend, and the one I'm most often compared to. I can't imagine going through this journey without having my mom by my side. It's crazy to think that a person could have so much positive influence in your life, but that's exactly what my mom has given me, and because of that, I'm extremely grateful. Finally, I would like to thank the class of 2020 for being the ones that rode with me on this roller coaster full of unexpected loops and turns. If we've learned anything these past few months, it's that nothing should ever be taken for granted. As a class, we've been educated in more than academics. We've learned how to make lifelong friendships. We've learned how to take responsibility for our actions, whether they be good or bad. We've identified how to become leaders and how to work within a group. Lastly, we've discovered that each of us holds a great deal of strength. Life is full of the unexpected. Obstacles will always be thrown at us, and sometimes they're completely out of our control. However, the way we choose to move past these obstacles is what defines us. Each day, we all make choices. Today, the result of our choices have landed us a diploma representing the strength and perseverance it took to finally reach the end. We can proudly zip up the robe, put on the cap, and move over the tassel because we've officially crossed the finish line. However, this chapter of our lives is simply one race. We should leave time to celebrate this victory, but also prepare ourselves for the next one. Though the races are sure to get more difficult from here on out, we can now run them confidently, knowing we all acquire the strength to finish, no matter how challenging the course.
Good evening. I am Nate Seaver, Assistant Principal at Urbana High School, and I will be presenting the American Legion Citizenship Awards. The students are selected for possessing the high qualities of courage, honor, leadership, patriotism, scholarship, and service, which are necessary to the preservation and protection of the fundamental institutions of our government and the advancement of society. The 2020 recipients of the Pierce Kearns Post 120 American Legion School Citizenship Award are Samantha Tracy and Austin Rooney. In the class of 2020, 30% are pursuing a 4-year college degree, 25% are headed to a 2-year academic or technical program, 2% will be joining the U.S. military, and 43% will be entering the workforce. 27 graduates have been awarded local, institutional, and private scholarships to further their education. The class of 2020 has been awarded a total of $1,062,510 in scholarships. Urbana High School would like to express our gratitude to all of the generous individuals and groups who sponsor local scholarships, allowing our students to continue their education. Detailed scholarship information, including recipients, is printed in the official program.
I now have the distinct privilege of presenting the members of the Urbana High School class of 2020. Each has met all requirements of the state of Ohio and Urbana City Schools for graduation and is certified by the Urbana Board of Education to receive his or her diploma. English teacher and senior class advisor Katie Denies will be reading the graduate names.
Delaney Isabella Brown. Logan Isaac Pence. Reagan Renee Hepp. Connor Aiden Hayslip. Jacob Christopher Latimer. Rachel Lene White. Samantha Nicole Tracy. Rebecca Leanne Preston. Gavin Cade Spence. Alyssa Marie Holland. Grant Paul Hauer. Hannah Margaret Loxley. Jocelyn Sage Holtzberry. Austin Keith Rooney. Kelsey Lynn Murray. Cheyenne Nicole Settle. Sky Elizabeth Sheldy. Patrick Robert Karg. Anastasia Elizabeth Saylor. Daniel Patrick Westcott. Audrey Grace Idonna Adams. Hayden Troy Adams. Hunter David Adams. Tessa Jane Armstrong. Stephen Daniel Bear Jr. Samantha Danielle Bear. Sarah Grace Baldwin. Colin Ray Battle. Isaiah Juan Brooks. Camden Douglas Campbell. Mackenzie Elizabeth Carter. Lucas James Chess. Jacob Lee Coffey. Lily Elizabeth Cooksey. Nazir Fahim Cochran. Roan Matthias Dawson. Elizabeth Cheyenne Deer. Rachel Nicole Delaney. Erin Michelle Dyer. Madison Nicole Dyer. Adam Tyler Fannin. Austin Douglas Fisher. Gunnar Michael Grimm. Olivia Lynn Irene Grimm. Donald Edward Hall. Blake Aaron Hatzer. Jasmine Nicole Heberlin. Michaela Danielle Heberlin. Ethan Charles Headley. Braden Shane Hill. Quentin Wyeth Hughes. Wyatt Jeffrey Hunter. Logan David Johnson. Leanna Rose Jordan. Mackenzie K. King. Marion Ray Krebaheny. Nicholas Johnson Landolfo. Hannah Leanne Kira Lauk. Madison Kate Markley. Daniel Edward McKenzie. Ethan Carl Melms. Caitlin Rose Michael. J.C. Danielle Moore. Madison Marie Moore. Gavin Lee Napper. Heather Ray Packer. Alexander Germain Parsons Dupree. Krish Kaushik Patel. Braden Michael Portis. Jalen Marie Portis. Jasmine Nicole Powell. Justin Thomas Priest. McKinley Lynn Priest. Bianca Elizabeth June Ratcliffe. Alexander Addison Ratliff. Seth Ryan Rayner. Cassandra June Reese. Daniel Garrett Richardson. Wesley Charles Riddle. Jessica K. Salyers. Robert Henry Schreiber. Brandon Lee Matthew Segovia. Raven Sadira Spurlock. Jolynn Nicole Stoops. Sierra Jane Nicole Swan. Peyton D. Teener. Connor Bryce Thomas. Gracie May Troyer. Natalie Cherie Underwood. Cameron Chase Walrod. Brittany Marie Weekly. Emily Marie Weekly. Alexis Ellen West. Jaleesa Maria Helen Wilkerson. Wyatt Matthew Young. Alana Lynn Zirkle.
It is now my privilege and honor to direct the class of 2020 to move their tassels and declare them graduates. Class of 2020, please move your tassels from right to left. I would like to thank Mr. Myers for his help in creating the moving of the tassels as well as the beautiful choir performance. Thank you to Mrs. Denias, Mrs. Evans, Mrs. Lewis, Mrs. Leonard, Mrs. Morgan, and Mr. Seaver for all of their assistance with the organization and preparation of materials and events for this year's graduation. And most of all, thank you to Mr. Thiel for his countless hours spent and technical expertise with the 2020 Urbana High School virtual commencement. Congratulations to the class of 2020. You have worked hard and deserve to be proud of this accomplishment. It's time to celebrate your success and then move on to the future. As stated by Kerry Washington, your life is your story, and the adventure ahead of you is the journey to fulfill your own purpose and potential. You are now a lifelong member of the Urbana High School alumni. Next, please welcome Tessa Armstrong, Class of 2020 representative, who will lead the ceremonial transfer of the Gene Zirkle Memorial Victory Bell to the Urbana High School Class of 2021, represented by Paige Martinez.
At the conclusion of the last year's commencement ceremony, the Urbana High School Class of 2020 accepted the care and keeping of the Gene Zirkle Memorial Victory Bell. We have faithfully cared for and joyfully rung the bell after each UHS football victory. Paige Martinez, as representative of the Urbana High School Class of 2021, you are hereby given custody of this treasured symbol of hill climber pride. By accepting this symbol of tradition and school spirit, you and your classmates will now be responsible to faithfully care for and joyfully ring this victory bell to proclaim the spirit and pride of the Urbana High School hill climbers.
On behalf of the Class of 2021, we accept